been blowing up. I see, like from the 300 to almost 1,000.
Well, it was
That's insane.
400. I had got up to 400. Okay, like
Oh,
I was
correct.
already already getting there.
Correction,
Yeah,
400. Okay,
yeah.
that's lit though. That's lit. What do you contribute to your success? Your 1,000 followers? Because I mean, you've been posting pretty consistently.
Um,
But is there like a technique to your posting?
no,
No.
no. Also, I get involved on people's lives, um,
Hmm.
and I interact with people a lot. Really, that's it.
Hmm. I
And then when
mean,
I
that's
post pictures and things, people start following me and liking stuff. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on. So I just want to get to 1K. So
mm.
we're getting there.
Yeah. It's definitely in the works, and the work is definitely showing. Because I remember when it was just four,
I
and
know.
then I looked a few months later, and I was like, oh, I saw 800. I think what a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, it's grown. And then I looked on it again when you text me. You was like, hey,
I
you
was like,
seen how many followers I got? And I was
you,
like, oh
you,
shit, damn,
you see me?
you have blown up. You going viral.
No, I wouldn't say that. That's not what's happening.
Oh, don't worry, it's coming. It's
Mm.
coming. You just gotta keep it consistent. Like the way we always show up here and always do these. Even though I'm gonna be honest, to the ones that are watching this, I'm gonna be honest. There do be days where we don't have anything to talk about particularly, right? But it's the consistency of just showing up every single day that creates the evolution of what it is that we're creating, right? So how is that like fear? Is there some fear in that? Because in your mind you're thinking like, dang, what are we gonna talk about? Right?
No, not really. Because I mean, that's my job. I just go into these random situations with people, and
Mm,
what we end up talking about, like, and I feel like I can talk about pretty much anything. Not that I'll have knowledge in anything, but I can engage in a conversation about anything.
mm.
Whether it's asking questions or sharing what I know. So, no, I like talking to people. So, whether it's me listening or talking or like that equal communication,
Hmm.
I enjoy it.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Communication is key.
Yeah.
And I feel like networking with other people is also another major key too that a lot of people either take for granted or just don't like to do at all. But
Hmm.
either way, it's something that helps you to grow and evolve as a person, and it helps your business too. Just having these type of conversations and just connecting and networking with others and picking their thought process out and collaborating that with your own. Um, and I think the more you do that, I think the bigger the conversations get.
Hmm.
Like they start right here in these small sectors, and then next thing you know, they start to grow and expand. Like I think honestly, these conversations are preparing us for what's happening next weekend, which is Invest Fest, right? I truly feel like, yeah, shameless plug. I feel like this is what these conversations are helping us to do because you never know who you're gonna be in a room with.
That's
Because you can
so
be sitting,
true. That's
yeah,
I've been thinking about that too.
yeah,
Like if very
yeah,
specific people I have an interaction with them, like what am I gonna say? I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out when I when I'm there.
facts. Funny enough, right? I've been really working on like making sure that I have my business intact as far as like my mission statement and what it is that my purpose represents. So
Hmm.
that way, whenever I'm talking to somebody, it's like, look, this is what I have in place,
Hmm.
and maybe we can collab or network or something. But this is what I have going on right now. So um, I want to make sure that I'm bringing that kind of energy with me.
Hmm.
And like you said, it's like sometimes you can plan these things out, but you just never know how it's gonna go.
Exactly, exactly. I can have the information ready, but how the conversation is gonna go specifically, I have no idea.
You know,
No
you
idea.
know. So, do you expect to come into this thing being a sponge, or do you expect to come into this being like someone who is looking to network and connect and maybe build your portfolio of connections?
That's a really good question, and I've been thinking about it. Because I feel like the opportunities are going to be all over the place. Um, I feel like I'm just going to go in and be the light that I am, and whatever attracts and whatever attracts me, that's just what it's going to be when I get there. I'm a very go
Mm,
with the flow kind of person. Whatever comes to me, obviously, is what I was needing at that time. So just
mm,
take it as it comes. I'm excited for all of it. Like no matter what comes, I'm excited. So yeah, no
mm.
specifics. I'm not too. You know me. I'm not too keen on the details.
Yeah, I know. No, facts, facts.
What about you? Do you have like a? I mean, like obviously, like I know what I'm gonna say, like about my business and things like that. But like, I am more than just that. Like, I love connecting with people. Period.
Facts.
Like, I'm really excited about that part.
For real. I'm in a sense like that too. I'm just looking to just go with the flow because this is something that I've never been to, and I don't know what to expect. Like I've been to like different networking events, and
Mhm.
they typically kind of go how they go. But
Mhm.
in this case, it's like it's different because you just show up as you. You don't have to like dress up, and
Mhm.
it's not like there's tiers in an organization to identify with, and you all have that relatability. It's like everybody's coming with their own dynamics.
Mhm.
It's like this person is in this industry, this person does this. So it's just a melting pot of people. And I'm looking to just come in with me.
And
Everything that I've embodied up until this point, I'm just there to bring me, you know?
facts.
That's it.
I'm
That's
really
it.
so
And
excited.
just I man, when I bought the ticket though, I noticed that there was the time slots on there. I don't know if you noticed that. Uh-oh. I don't think you noticed it.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, they'll send you like an email, and it's basically like the time slots like Friday. I think it's like from uh
Oh, about like what's going on?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah,
not into details. I'll look at it like next week.
yeah. But yeah, I was like, damn, this is really an all day event though.
No, it seriously is. I was like, dang, I'm gonna need a bag and some snacks.
For real. Damn. I thought it was gonna be like a little, okay, you just take a go ahead, go for a couple hours, boom, it's over by like 5. Nah, this shit going until like 10
All
o'clock.
day.
All fucking day.
I mean,
Damn.
that's cool.
Yeah. Shit, I'm there for it.
Nice.
I'm bringing my bag, I'm bringing my snacks.
Right.
Shit. That's it. We gonna be lit. We gonna be up in there lit.
Really fun. I'm super excited.
All right. So I did have a couple of things. What did you have? Like so far, what did you have?
Gosh. It's not good. I'm not gonna lie. Synchronicities. Okay, so the past week for me has just been really crazy. So very like energy based things. So
Okay.
synchronicities. I know we talked about mentors last time. Relationships, energy, and individualism
Hmm.
or individuality, authenticity
Hmm.
around there,
Individuality.
and then doing things that align with your values.
Ooh, I like that. Doing things that align with your values. What's that? Expound on that. What do you mean by that? Doing things that align with your values.
Um, well, I really wrote down I cannot be pushed into doing things that don't align with my values. Like
Mm.
it doesn't sit right, and that is for a reason because my intuition is saying we're not really feeling this. This is not something that aligns with how we want to be. Um, So it's like a signal of, nah, maybe let's go with something else because this is not it. Just despite who is doing it, who's giving you the information or trying to talk you into something, staying true to what's valuable to you: family, friends, communication, money, whatever. It looks different for everybody, so I could name a million different things, but what aligns with you and how you want to be, and then not really stepping off that unless you're evolving, and you're allowed to evolve. That's allowed to change, but
Mm,
understanding why you're making these decisions and why you feel certain ways about things.
mm.
Yeah.
I like that. I really do. I had an instance where I was in a situation like that. I was working as a chef, a vegan chef, right?
What?
And
Here you go with these jobs.
I've done it all. I
Yeah.
done it all. I feel like Shawty Low. For real, I was a vegan chef, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was cool for a moment, but I kind of had this feeling of like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. I did that for maybe like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And it was cool because I was learning different things. I was learning like how to cook vegan food and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But um, a different opportunity presented itself, and I had two choices to make, and both of them were very lucrative. I could have stayed in that and just like grew in that, and then really made something big out of it because I saw the vision of it, of where it could have gone or where it was going, should I say. But this over here was something that could have helped my situation, and I could have grown in that because of where I was in my life.
Hmm.
Um, and I decided to take the other. And so the guy that I was working for or working with, when I quit and I just let it go, me and him had a really good conversation. He was like, "Man, look, you was really good at this thing. Like for somebody who just came out of nowhere and just started just getting it, like you was really good at this, right?" And that was the reason why I just threw you in the fire because I knew you could handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw the greatness within you. And the
Hmm.
reason I say that is because sometimes I think it's hard for us to identify something that is uncomfortable, that is helping us to grow, and then something that just isn't in alignment with our purpose.
Yeah.
So, how do you make that distinction
Oh
for
God,
yourself? And I'll go into how I made that distinction too.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
I
I'll tell
find,
you what. Okay. While you think about it, I'll
yeah,
just kind of explain how I kind of
yeah.
came to this point, right?
Hmm.
So I like to use my emotions as indicators, letting me know like where I'm at in each and every moment of my life.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's a level of discomfort that you need to be in for a certain period of time. And then you need to just take yourself out of that and then put yourself back in a quote unquote comfortable position because what you needed to learn is what you needed to learn in that process. And now you need to get in a state of stability to
Yeah.
where you can utilize what you've learned during that process,
Hmm.
right? So that's just one way that I've been able to identify that. Identify that by using my own emotions and just understanding, like, okay, this isn't necessarily not in alignment, but this is something that is used to help me to grow along my path, right?
Hmm.
And I know that some of those discomforts are there for that reason. So that way I can grow and expand and become a better version of myself. So that way, whatever challenge that I face heading forward, I'm in a different mindset. I'm sitting in a different light. So that way I can handle that situation even better. Um, but yeah, that's me.
I definitely, that's a really, I really like that answer because I've been working with this guy. He's like a mentor coach, like he's amazing, but he was talking about how you get to one level and then now you're on that level, but you can't use the same steps that you used to get to that level to get to the next level. So you have to
Mm,
differentiate, like, okay, that's what I used last time. Now I need more momentum to go even higher than what I've done before. So what needs to go? What needs to change? So that made me think of that. So that was really cool. Um,
Mm,
for me, I'm such a self-evaluating kind of person. Um, so when I'm trying to make a decision or trying to decide something, I more times than not will ask myself, okay, well, why do you not want to do this thing? Why do you
mm,
not want to do this thing? Like, what are the reasons behind that? And then I kind of pick it apart that way. Like, is that the way that you are and the way that you like to be and what your values are? Is this a valid reason for you? Not for anybody else, but for you.
mm,
And I kind of go based off of that. Like, I just really go into myself and really try to be honest with myself about what's really going on. Why do I want to do this? Why do I not want to do this? What are the reasons and what really aligns with what I'm trying to do or trying to be or evolve
mm,
into? At that time, it's always going to look so different. It's always going to look so different. It's about being present with yourself and asking those questions to yourself and being honest with your answers,
mm,
um, and letting your intuition kind of guide you through. For me, I'm not a big I am a Libra, so sometimes I'm like, so
yeah,
I have to find different ways to ask myself why. I'm always trying to keep things balanced, but why this time? What are we trying to balance this time?
mm,
And that really helped me kind of break down like what is actually going on. What's my actual feelings about this? How do I actually feel?
mm.
So yeah.
So do you think that you intentionally put yourself in like uncomfortable situations to kind of balance out the like everything's going good, but I need to grow more?
No, honestly, I take opportunities as they come. Like if I'm shoot, I don't even know when it was. It was like 2021 or something. It might have been. I think it was like after COVID. I was doing something and I found something online. It was like a Facebook thing where like this company was coming to town and they were having like interviews and like walking things and I was like, "Oh, why not?" Like for me it's just
Hmm,
I can give it a shot. Like I've always been one of those people. I know when it's something I don't want to do, but if it's something I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know, I can try it. Like I'm not scared to try new things. So it's like, and I'm not shy. I don't really get anxious around people. So it's never really about that for me.
mm-hmm,
It's about what am I being guided to do?
mm,
Am I being guided to explore this new thing that I just came across? Or is it something that I just need to learn about or what? It's really hard for me to answer questions like that because I'm such a feelings intuition kind of person. And
right.
there's no strategy to it. It's very in the moment. What is gonna get me to the answer that makes sense and brings me the most clarity? And I keep doing like
Mhm.
this, like alignment, like what
Yeah,
makes sense, like
right.
yeah.
Nah, facts. I mean, honestly, that makes total sense because
Okay, good.
certain things just don't need a guide or an instruction manual. Some things you just need to really follow your intuition on.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like you'll do so much, and I've done this before, where
mm,
you'll do so much research on something and read every book you can and listen to every audio or whatever the case is, but still the outcome is determined by your alignment
yeah,
and how you are interacting with whatever that thing is in that moment, like the people that you're interacting with or the situation. Like it's all determined on who you are, not the information that you absorb. Because and at the end of the day, I can read every single book in the world, but if I'm not able to properly translate that in whatever setting, in the, yeah, for myself, right? If I'm not
yes,
able to translate that for myself and then be able to translate that in the proper setting, then it doesn't do me any good.
yes, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
Look at it. We off to a great start.
Okay, that was great.
I like the idea of self-evaluation though. I really like that because I feel like a lot of people go through life wanting to self-analyze and self-evaluate, but it sometimes you don't have enough time to, or you're just so busy caught up in whatever you're doing that you don't have the time to really sit down and analyze what's going on in your life until maybe something drastic or dramatic happens.
Mhm.
And so it's like now you're on this journey of self-discovery, but maybe it's a little late. Well, it's not late, but it's just on your timing.
Mhm.
So and it looks different. Like
Mhm.
you've been on this journey of self-analysis for a long time, so you know
Yeah.
yourself very, very well. So you
Mhm.
can distinguish between what is and what isn't.
Yeah.
And I feel like self-evaluation is really just peeling back the layers of all the things that you thought were you but really weren't you.
Yeah, me and my sister just talked about this. And I do want to add something. I feel like sometimes people equate self evaluating with like the self critiquing that they do,
Mm,
where instead of like peeling back the layers, they pick themselves apart. And it's like,
mhm,
well, no, that's not the point of it. It's not to look at yourself and be like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, these are all my mistakes. It's like, oh, I made these choices, but I don't know why. Maybe I should look
mm,
further into this. So it's
mm,
evaluating, not critiquing. You're not pointing out the only all the good things and none of the bad things or unfavorable things. And then you're also not on the flip side only looking at the bad things and completely ignoring the great things about you or that you have going on.
mm,
So it's really like studying, being curious is really the best way to say it.
mm.
And I think a lot of times because of society and how everybody compares to everybody else, the critiquing starts going on, and then they're like, "Well, that's me working on myself. Like I just really pushed myself." Like, no, you're actually kind of picking yourself apart, and it might help, but it's going to make the process a lot harder for you, and
Yeah,
it's a bit unnecessary. Like,
yeah,
don't
for
have
real.
that at
You
all.
really don't. You really don't. And I think that we have to unplug from these things too because
Yeah.
we could pick up things that aren't necessary.
Mhm.
Like you can have a certain belief and then maybe something you hear aligns to that belief and it sounds similar, but it kind of takes you off the path that you
Mhm.
already put yourself on.
Mhm.
Like, okay, I've been on this path, I'm doing good. And then you see something and it kind of throws you off because now you're second guessing all the work that you've been putting on yourself or doing for yourself. So now you're thinking, like, dang, maybe I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've come to learn from my journey is that it's so unique and it's different. And there may be instances where there are those that go through something similar but it'll never look the same. Like my situation is never gonna look the same as somebody else's. So for me to try to take someone else's ideology and apply it to my own could be a detriment,
It
potentially.
it can. It can
Yeah.
sometimes. And that's why I wrote down like energy individualism because it's so specific to you. You have to
Mm,
figure out your own energy. I could give you all the tools that I used, every meditation that I did, but if that's not what you're needing and what's specific to you, then there's kind of no point. And it might confuse you. It might make it a little bit harder. Like you said, like,
mm,
it might be detrimental. Like it might turn you in a way that you were not expecting to go. Like
right.
so it's very you have to be in tune with yourself. You have to get present and really
Mm,
understand where you are coming from and why.
mm. That's a fact. That's a fact. Do you think that maybe some of the things that you believe are your own beliefs?
Um, that's a really good question because you're so influenced by the things that you listen to on a regular basis. And
Mm,
that's interesting because I purposely went out and listened to the things that I would like going on with me, like the music in the background, what I fall asleep
mhm,
to, what I listen to when I'm in my car. I
mm,
went out and seek those things, and they are now reflecting back out of me. So it's like, well, is that because that's what I wanted, or because this stuff felt good, and that's just that's what I've soaked in.
mm,
But what do I
mm.
know,
That's interesting. You
right?
know what? I ain't gonna lie. I like sometimes I like to listen to certain things that go against the thought process that I have,
Oh,
just
someone
to
said that
see.
to me recently. That's so funny.
Really,
Yeah.
how so?
It's just funny. The synchronicities have just been all like maybe that's do I do that? I don't seek it, but
Mm.
I am open to it. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. That's a better way to put it. I'm more open to different things that challenge the thought process that I have, because sometimes I wonder whether or not, like, okay, the thought process that I currently possess, is this something that has been accumulated over the course of what I've been ingesting, or is this something that I truly believe to my core? And if I have to question that, then maybe I need to look at something else to kind of give me a different perspective or vantage point, right?
Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
you're expanding yourself. That's why it's that constant self
Mm,
evaluation. That's what helps us progress and grow and learn. Like you said, we get to a plateau, we climb, and then we get to a plateau, and it's like, all right, well, we've been here enough. Now we need to figure out how to get to the next one. If that's what
mm,
you want to do, if you care about progressing and getting better and expanding, then that is something that you're going to do. And after a while, you just start to do it so naturally that you're like, I don't know how I got here, but I'm
mm.
making decisions that feel good when I make them. So
Facts,
here
facts.
I am.
Hey, check this out. I just thought of something, right?
Uh-huh.
You can't be afraid to contradict yourself.
Yes. You
Yeah.
cannot be afraid to say, I thought this at first, but now I think this.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
for real. I feel like contradictories just mean that you're thinking, like in general.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, it's so many times you see people that just go along with what's going on, but they're not questioning what's happening. So it's like contradictories are literally just you questioning what you have learned. So you're just diving deeper into the concepts that you've already gathered over the years, and to really analyze to see if this is really true to your core values,
Hmm.
right? That's
Yeah, that's
damn,
good. That's
that's
good.
good. So, oh man. So how does that work, right? With being a, I like to call you a love coach, right? So
Yeah.
how does that go? Because it's like people have these notions about what love means, right?
Yeah.
Because I know that you are a being who is just full of love and just it just overflows, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So how can you teach somebody to change their thought process around love after experiencing it in such a way that wasn't really favorable to them?
Um, are you meaning relationship wise, like self love?
Relationships. Okay, let's go with relationships, and then let's go with the self-love.
Okay. So in relationships, law of attraction is a thing, right?
Mm,
So two people are brought together for what reason? We probably don't know. There's something going on that brought you two together. Um,
mhm,
there's a lesson usually to be learned there, whether it's a cycle that you need to realize and then break and move on from. Um,
mm,
or it's usually it is that, but the duration that it goes on is totally dependent upon you. So
mm,
are you willing to learn this lesson in a short period of time, or is it going to take you a little bit to get there? um
mm,
and I feel like it's so weird now that everybody's like, oh, the red flags, and it's like, well, we talk about these red flags and we laugh about, oh, this is my red flag, oh, this is my trigger. um you're talking about it without really talking about it. It's more like a game to everybody now, I feel like, because it's something to talk about. Oh, my red flag is I don't like to answer the phone or whatever it is. And it's like you brought this person is in your life for a reason, right? If it
mm,
feels good, most of the time, and then there's like some of the bad time, unfavorable time. I don't like good and bad.
Mm,
For me, what I have learned is there's the lessons, there's the duration that you're willing to learn the lesson, and then there, do I believe that there is a better situation for me?
mm,
Yes. Then why are you still here? In order for better to find you and for you to attract it, you have to put out into the universe, hey, I see the situation and the lesson I am in now. I understand it, and I realize now that there's a better connection out there for me that I would like to experience. And so
mm,
now I am open to it because I have now released myself from that situation, or however that goes, whether it was your doing or not. In order for love to work, both people have to choose each other, right? So
mm.
if
And let me tell you this, right? Not to cut your wisdom, but
no, go.
the at the same time, people will still continue to choose the thing that's been hurting them so long. And I believe that's because it's a test, because we say we want better,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're presented with the exact same thing that you just left,
Mm-hmm.
then that just means that you haven't learned
Yep.
a lesson.
You haven't learned it
And
because it's
so,
never deep. And it's
yeah.
happening until you say, no, I am breaking this cycle, this pattern. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I have now, I'm now looking at this from a higher perspective, and I see where this is not working. This is not aligned with what I truly want. And
Mm,
that's when you keep yourself open to the things that you know that you will receive. And the law of attraction, if you truly believe it and really embody that, law of attraction will bring you that.
mm. This is a good ideology of what it means when the mind and the heart are in communication, when they're
Yeah.
talking.
Yes.
Because you're speaking from a heart center, and
Yes.
I'm about to speak from like a mind center, because at the same time, I feel like you need to really work on the habits and
Mm.
really look at what are you doing on a consistent basis.
That's
Like,
that's what I mean by that cycle. Are you breaking that
yeah.
cycle? Are you working on your communication? Are you working on your own self-care? Because it is about you way before it is ever going to be about somebody else. So
Mm,
when I say breaking that cycle, it's making those changes to say this is no longer what I want to participate in.
mm,
And being aware that, okay, if I'm saying I want better and I'm complaining about this whole situation, then I
mhm,
prove to myself that I think I deserve better and remove myself from the situation so that I can be available for better.
mm. Damn, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you say this though, I feel like you're talking more than just about a relationship with just people. I feel like you're just talking about relationships with every and anything, like
Exactly.
your relationship with food, or your relationship with just yourself. Like,
Yes. The way you speak. Yes, 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 yes.
yeah, everything is a relationship. If you
It
think about
really
it,
it is.
that's crazy. But it all starts with the relationship you have with yourself.
Right. And that's why I was gonna say self-love is gonna be very similar, but you wanna give yourself the purest, gentlest,
Mm,
strongest love that you have. Because once you do
mm,
that, there's really nothing else to it after that. That's what you've been searching for in
mm,
everybody else outside of you, and the things and the hobbies and things that we do, um, to get those feelings where we make other people or other things the object of our affection. It is our affection still at the end of the day. At the beginning of the day, middle of the day, and the end of the day. It is your affection. So it has to
mm.
come from you.
Nah,
They
facts.
are just what you are reflecting it onto, but it's yours.
Mm. Do you think self love makes you a hated person?
No, because I'm very loved.
But that's the thing, though. Somebody could take that and be like, "Man, who do you think you
And
are?"
that's
You know what
going
I'm
to
saying?
say more about them than it is about me. I can't help them with that.
Mm,
I can continue to love myself and hope that maybe they catch on.
mm.
But I'm not going to stop loving me because someone thinks that I shouldn't. That actually sounds crazy.
It does, don't it?
Exactly.
But the funny thing is, that's what happens in our realities.
Not
And
mine.
Not yours. There we go. Not yours.
I
But it
don't.
does happen in others' realities, though.
Mm-hmm.
Sad enough. But, I mean,
It's also, are you giving your attention to that?
mm,
It can be there all at once too, but I have to acknowledge it in order for it to be felt.
mm.
Right?
Ooh. Boy, you talking that talk.
I'm talking, I talk.
But it is important, right? Because it's like certain things you just not tolerate anymore, and when you start to really create those habits in your life, it makes it hard for you to even try to talk down or be a hateful and spiteful person, because I feel like you're just gonna emanate the truth, right? And you will speak nothing but the truth. Like, a lot of people would look at certain influencers or certain coaches or thought leaders and think like they're just arrogant, or they're just, rude, or whatever the case is. But the fact of the matter is, when you love yourself so much to a certain degree, it's just certain things that you just don't allow to penetrate your armor. You know what I mean? And it's like you bring a good vibe everywhere you go. And sometimes it's not even intentional. It's just you love yourself so much and you want to feel a certain type of energy, and you bring it. You don't expect anybody else to. You just
I,
like, yo, if
yeah,
there's a certain type of energy I want to feel, I'm just gonna embody it and bring it into the room. And those who resonate with it are gonna come together and just boom, we're gonna create that energy.
exactly. Exactly.
That's a
If
fact.
you said it so perfectly, if that's the energy that I want, I'm gonna bring it myself.
Mm,
You can join in if you would like. The more the merrier. But I'm
mm.
gonna have it.
That's what I would always do when I would go to like drills and stuff like that.
Hmm.
There's just certain things that my unit does not accommodate me because of the mass majority, right? I'm a small percentage of those that actually eat or think a certain kind of way.
Hmm.
Well, I wouldn't even say think, but just my
I got you.
my um appetite or
Hmm.
my diet. It's just I don't eat certain things.
Right.
So I had to create a space to where I decided to eat a certain type of way, or I decided to just, bring certain things along with me. And
Hmm.
I would always share those things too, because I never wanted to be the type to be like, well, I'm eating this way because I care about myself, but I also want to share in that and really give people that experience too. And
Hmm.
so it started to create something,
Yeah.
and it just grew. It's like I was planting seeds, because I was always the guy that brought fruit. And everybody would always ask me, like, yo, where the fruit at? You know what I'm
Ah,
saying? You're the fruit guy.
fruit
Where's the
man.
fruit? Yeah, like, yo, what's the fruit of the day? You know what I'm saying? And I'll always have something with me. So that started a chain reaction, and now a lot of people are starting to eat more healthier and think about the things that they're consuming. And even then, they share in that with me, because at some point in time, that's all I ever did.
Hmm.
So if I didn't bring anything, I knew somebody else was going to. And anytime somebody does something like healthy wise or fruit wise, I'm the first person that comes to their mind, because that's the energy that I embody.
I love
And
it.
so it's like, I know who would like this. Hey, I got some fruit over here. You want some? Like, yeah, of course.
Love it.
And that kind of goes back to what we talked about before. I feel like our energies, what we are like creating, is what we are going to attract, and that is just going to be the evidence that
I love
shows us what type of level that we're on. So I think that's the contradictory right there. I feel like everything that we do is an indicator of where we are, right?
it. Okay.
So in some cases, we don't need those things. We don't need to question those things. We don't need to question, but still, we have to ask those questions, only because we want to grow ourselves, and we don't want to get comfortable or complacent in the energy that we've already created. If that makes sense.
Yes, yes, yes. I've. It's so funny. Like the further you go along, you're like, one day you're sitting there, you're like, am I content or am I just relaxing right now?
Ooh,
Like,
if
when you're,
I could,
let me go read something real quick. Let me
yeah.
go expand my mind real quick. See where I'm at.
Oh wow, that's funny. Am I content or am I just relaxing? Hmm.
It's a random question I'll ask myself. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm evolving just
Dang.
constantly. And it can be the smallest thing. I any kind of change, no matter the
Mm.
size, no matter what it pertains to, it all
Mm-hmm.
matters to me just as much, because it's if
Dang.
you care so much about the little ones, they start adding up so fast to then equal the big one. And then you look back and you're like, "Oh,
Hmm.
all right. So,
Okay. That's cool. What's next?
what are we doing now?"
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
know what? I feel like I've had this happen so many times where I could be just relaxing or we watching a show or something, and I just get a feeling like I want to post some content, or
Oh,
I want to create a video, or I want to go read. It's just like an impulse. I don't
yeah.
know where it comes from, but I think that's kind of going back
Yeah.
to what you said. Like, am I getting comfortable, or am I just relaxing? Like, that's dang. That's a good question. I never thought of put it like that.
Right now. Hmm. Like, and it's so weird because you have to, it's very in the moment. How am I really
Hmm.
feeling? Am I just
Hmm.
chilling, or
Uh,
is there something I could be learning right now? Was there something I was curious about? Was there something that really took me somewhere at some
mm,
point throughout the day? And that's that being aware, being present with yourself. What caught your attention throughout the day? And
mm,
did it lose your attention at some point? Go back and question yourself. Go learn more about it.
mm.
Be curious.
I think that really speaks to like, let me just make sure I still got it.
Yes.
Right? Let me just make sure. I know I'm cool. I know I got everything, but let me just make sure I still got it and my sword is still sharp.
Yes, that's that self-evaluating. It doesn't
Mm,
stop.
dang, it never stops.
Now that
Even
you
now,
think about it, you're like, it doesn't.
right? Even now, like we were kind of self-analyzing ourselves even in before we started, just kind of like, okay, which direction is this gonna go? And I think
I
that's so beautiful. I think that's so beautiful because you
agree.
just never know. And I love not knowing.
Me too. And that's so funny because that's the energy I feel like we brought into it. We were like, what are we gonna talk about? And they're like, okay, you ready? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Ever since we started doing these things, I found myself doing that more and more in every moment. Like I lean so heavy on the like, well, I don't know, but let's just see what happens.
Mm,
That it's just I love the outcomes. Whether good or bad, I still love the outcomes of just going out there and just seeing what happens.
mhm.
Because it is so it's such a relief to know that you can go and do something and no matter what, the outcome is always going to be in your favor, no matter what. Because
Yeah,
there's something you can always learn from it if
yeah.
you
But
just take the action.
you have to learn that
Mm,
before you really start living it, before it really becomes apparent in your life. You have
mm,
to practice that thought. And I mean, sometimes with practice, it can be done pretty quickly, but in the beginning, it's a little hard. You're like, life
mm.
is hitting me, and this ain't fun. How's this working out for me? This hurts.
Right.
This is not great.
Dang.
So it's about really being present and knowing that, yeah, this moment is a little rough, but the next moment, the next moment, but also understanding that being in that moment and being able to be present so that you can see the opportunity for it to
Mm,
elevate,
mm,
priceless.
priceless. So true. Because it's always leading. It's always a leading factor,
It is.
right? It's like Abraham says, you're always on the leading edge of something greater. Always on the leading edge. It's just like, okay, what is this? It's like the curiosity, I feel like, is gone from a lot of people and nobody wants to get curious no more.
Yes.
I think that's what's really missing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it's you really have to really get curious about life because you just never know how it's gonna unfold for you. right? You can't judge your story based off the story of whoever you may have read about and just say like, oh wow, well they achieved this level of success and they didn't have to go through this, so why should I have to go through that? Well, maybe this is just what is required for my story to unfold in the way that I see it for myself, the way
Mm,
I envision it. So I think we need to really cultivate curiosity in our culture.
yeah.
Mm,
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
love it.
And it starts with self. Be curious about yourself.
Mm.
And once you do
Be
that,
curious.
it makes it easier to be curious about other things.
Hmm.
The things you do for yourself make it so much easier to do it outside of you. I promise. I promise.
I see that. I can see that because you bring you everywhere you go, and only you see the habits that you're creating every single day,
Yep.
and those habits are gonna reflect on to other people. And I feel like people see that even if you don't see it, but they see it in a different way because it's so
They see it
rare,
from their perspective.
right?
They see it the
Dang.
way that they interpret the energy that you're giving off. Yes.
Mm. You know what's funny when you say that, right? It's so funny when you can see how your enlightenment can be triggering to others and you have an understanding of why it's like, dang, they so unhealed right now. I'm just like, dang,
Well,
y'all
because
just so unhealed right now.
when you're a light, it's easy to shine, and then
Mm,
you see the shadows, and you're like, "Well, I see your light, but I also see your shadows right now.
yeah.
I see what you're hiding behind.
Mm,
Um, you're hiding behind, but there's still a light back there. You're just letting those shadows kind of take over. Um,
mm,
so I can give you that grace because I had to give it to myself first.
right.
This is a safe space. That's my favorite thing to do is give people a safe space to just be themselves.
Nah, facts.
It makes
Facts.
every interaction so much easier
Mm,
because you can see when you're like, oh, our energies are not aligning right now. Is this a teaching moment? Is this something that I need to learn? Is this something I brought on because I need to learn, or is it something that brought us together because we were both supposed to learn? Like, what is this moment?
mm,
Oh, okay, this was the lesson. All right, okay, now we don't need to share any energy anymore. Bye. Not
right.
everybody has to stay.
Mm.
Sometimes it is just that.
Funny enough you said that, right? I met this guy the other day.
Hmm.
His name is Van. And literally, he was just a stranger at first. Because
Hmm.
I was at my favorite shop. I just went over there just to say hi to everybody at the shop. And this guy came to order some stuff. And literally, we sat and had a 3 hour conversation. Like, we just enjoyed being in each other's energy because we resonated so much. Because it's so rare that you get to embody that energy with somebody else that we literally sat and had a whole 3 hour conversation and it was beautiful. It was
Not
amazing.
like
So
that.
that and I feel like people really show their appreciation either consciously or unconsciously just by being in your presence for a certain period of time, even if you're not really talking about anything. It's just the fact that you bring a certain type of energy that just is enlightening and
Hmm.
it's just wonderful to be around. And so people show that by just sitting there and just talking with you,
Yeah,
like how we do now.
absolutely. It's like my favorite.
Yeah. What? Telling you. But this is how you grow and evolve because you start to really see the energy that you embody and it reflect off of others, which gives you the indicator of okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Matter of fact, um, me and my brother-in-law had a conversation like that the other night too, and it's like people come up and they let you know that you're on a certain path each and every time. So even if you feel like you're off your path just a bit, there's always somebody, and it's just random. It happens on
Yeah.
occasions, but they let you know, like, hey, you're gonna be good. Your life is gonna be abundant. But I just wanted to let you know because this is where I was supposed. This is where you're supposed to be. This is where we both were supposed to be, and I was supposed to tell you this at this time to let you know to keep going. And if I hadn't, Who knows? But still, it was just what was supposed to be on your path. Yeah.
Ain't nothing left to say after that. You're exactly right.
Thanks, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. I feel like these are the conversations that we're gonna be having at Invest Fest. Like we're just manifesting that.
The way that the synchronicities have been going on in my life, like I couldn't. It's so crazy because you can't even really explain it to other people. Like people can understand it, but they
Mm-hmm.
weren't. They're not able to connect the dots like you have because it's your life, obviously. And it's like, man, I wish, I wish I could tell you, like, and really let you experience what I'm feeling. But
Right.
it's just crazy how that goes.
Yeah.
And
It's
once it's
crazy.
like, it's like a, what is it called?
Domino.
Yes, that's a great way to. I was gonna say something tumbling down a hill. I don't snowball effect. That's what I was gonna say. Where
There
it
we
like
go.
builds and builds. You're like the synchronicities are all around me. What the heck? And it's but it's fun, like in a fun way. Like oh my god. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. And that's just it. It's just a build up. Like these conversations are the build up of what is to come. Because you take this energy and you carry with you, and then everything else starts to align, letting you know, like, hey, this is the path. This is it. You're right where you're supposed to be. And it's all just leading up to one grand moment that'll change your life for the rest of your life. Because I always feel like we're just one moment away from changing our lives forever.
yeah,
Like the post I made earlier, it's like it doesn't matter. No, that was yesterday. It doesn't matter how long it takes. When you get there, you'll be so glad that you kept going and you didn't give up. It
yes.
doesn't matter how long it takes.
It does not matter how long it takes.
Mm, facts.
Because once you get there, you're like, oh, I don't even. What was that? A little journey? Cool. Ha, I'm here now.
Right. I did it.
Right.
That's it.
I love
That's
it.
it.
I love it.
Golly, but that's the goal, man. That's really the goal. We're in the process, and it's your process. It's my process. It's our process. It's what it is. But the thing is, a lot of people are not going to understand it, right? I said this analogy earlier to
Yeah.
myself. You can't. Butterflies cannot explain to caterpillars what it means to fly and expect them to get it.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
A butterfly cannot.
It didn't
Big
come out how I
bars.
thought it would.
But that's a fact though. Like a butterfly cannot explain to a caterpillar what it means to fly and expect that caterpillar to understand it until they've gone through their own cocoon process. So right now, that's the process that we're in. We're in this cocoon process. So for those that haven't gone through that yet, they won't know what it means to soar, to fly, to break out of that shell. So that's literally what all of this is about. It's the cocooning process. It's turning into that butterfly to really fly and soar to new heights. And
You
it's
know,
gonna look different for everybody.
the only thing the butterfly can do is just be beautiful and encouraging.
Mm, that's it.
That's it. Go
That's a
be a
bar.
butterfly. Like it's that simple. Like it's not the weight of the world on you. The way that the caterpillar turns into the butterfly is not. You have nothing to do with that. You can give encouragement and you can be an example.
Mm,
That is it.
that's it.
That's all.
Point blank. Period.
Right. That's all he wrote.
So that means you got a choice. Are you gonna be the butterfly or are you gonna be the caterpillar?
Mm,
Mm. Because either way, you're gonna grow.
right. I feel like I'm. It's like you. It's like there's different like stages. Sometimes you're like a caterpillar waiting to turn into a butterfly, and other time you're like, mm, you're all falling apart so you can be the phoenix that rises. And it's like there's different levels to it. Like there's
Mm,
different seasons, different phases. The sometimes
mm,
the butterfly is necessary because you're in a softer era. And sometimes
Mm.
it's the Phoenix where you're like, all right, haha, we here.
Trying to burn it up.
Yeah, like we're gonna get lit.
Facts. Let me ask you this: what if you're a butterfly and you don't even realize it?
um,
Hmm.
and just be a butterfly. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Is be
Hmm.
a butterfly.
Okay, that's a message for somebody.
Yeah, there's no need to make it more complex than that.
Hmm.
Just like the flowers that grow out of the ground, they don't go around saying, "Hey, I'm beautiful. Look at my colors." People just walk by and they're like, "Look at the fucking colors on that flower. That's beautiful." And the flower's like, "Yeah, hey,
That's funny.
just being flowers. Like, just be what you are.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Be the beautiful fucking butterfly you can be.
Be that fucking butterfly. Fucking fly."
Yo, that's jokes. Golly. Listen, we have talked about quite a few things, and this has been an awesome conversation. We're almost an hour in. Um, we could really just do this all day. I'll be honest,
Honestly.
but I feel like we've covered so much and we've talked about a lot. Man, is there anything else? Is there any other things or topics that you got on your mind?
Mm, I do want to say, just like we are forever evolving, just like our conversation, like where we started to where we ended. It was like an evolution of either our journeys or the way that we developed. It was like we
Mm,
started at one, we ended at five. Like we showed the progression of how far, not how
yeah.
far. There's always you're eternal. Like there's no stopping. But
Mm,
it's just funny how it represents that in the subjects that we chose to talk about. So
mm.
I think that's pretty cool.
The conversation of evolution,
Mm. An evolving conversation.
an evolving conversation. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like that.
Can your conversation evolve? Like that's a good
Mm.
question to ask someone.
Can your conversation evolve?
Yeah. Or do you have the ability to evolve your conversation while you're having it?
Ooh, that's. I believe yes. Yeah.
That's a good. That feels like a really great
Dang.
topic to talk about.
Do
To
you
have that
have?
conversation with someone.
Does your conversation have the ability to evolve? Damn. You know what? That kind of goes with what I was gonna end with. Thinking bigger. Thinking bigger. What? That's crazy.
I'm telling you, the synchronicity is on top.
You can't make this up, man.
You can't. I feel like
You
we do
can't.
this every week about something.
It's always something, bro. That's why I'm just like, yo, I just never know. I'll be trying to be prepared, but you know what? Look, this is what the preparation is about, right? This is the preparation, right? The
Yeah.
preparation begins in the beginning stages of I don't know, but I'm
Trusting with
willing to take the journey and I'm willing to trust the process. I
yes.
don't know what it's gonna be, but I just know I trust and I believe and I have faith.
And
And therefore, go ahead.
I go in with the energy of really caring and wanting to build it, and however that looks, that's okay.
Mm,
The how doesn't matter.
mm,
Where do we want to get to? We just want to make an impact. We just want to have more conversations. We want to connect with people,
mm. That's it.
whatever that looks like.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
what we love to do. We love to impact and have these elevate evolutionary conversations.
Yes.
Dang. Dang, now you got me thinking. Can your conversation truly evolve? How do you build the pillars for a conversation to evolve though? That's the good question.
We talked about curiosity. We talked about that.
Oh yeah.
You have to be able to be curious and open also, and be able to
Hmm.
contradict yourself. At the beginning of the conversation, you believed this. At the end of it, do you have the capability to say, now I think this?
Hmm. That's it.
That's it.
Think bigger, folks. Think
Okay.
bigger.
Ask questions.
ask questions,
and be a butterfly.
and be a fucking butterfly.
Or a beautiful fucking flower.
That too.
Yeah.
Man, look, this has been another present conversation with. Oh, I like that. This has been another present conversation
Present
with
conversation.
present conversation.
PC with P and L.
Oh, a present conversation. Man, look here. Might need to rebrand.
I kind of like that.
A present conversation. Mm. This has been another present conversation with Paulizé and Alicia.
Yep.
And I'm so thankful for this moment and this opportunity. Yeah.
Same. Forever grateful. Oh my gosh, I could cry every. Okay, can I tell you? Like I've cried for the past like 3 days from like
Really?
gratitude. Like I'm just so blessed. I'm trying to tell you, my blessings don't stop.
Mm.
They just keep rolling in
Them blessings coming in like a freight train got down.
and like crazy.
Mm.
So I'm just grateful. That's all.
Facts.
That's all I can be.
You know, another good way that I've been expressing gratitude is living in the ideology of the things that I'm creating, even before they get here. It's like I'm already living that success life that I see myself living.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for that life and I embody it, even if it's not here yet. And that right there just fills me up with just so much gratitude and delight because I know that it's on the way.
Law of assumption. Is that what it's called?
Is it?
Yeah.
Law of assumption?
Assume that
Yeah.
you are that which you want, or something like that.
Yeah. Law of
Yeah.
assumption. Yeah.
Yes. I love
It
it. I
works.
love it. Yes.
It works. It works. Golly. This has been an awesome conversation.
It has.
You got any closing remarks for the people?
No, not really. I'm so excited for him. Oh, next time we go live, we'll be in Invest Fest.
That is right. Oh man. Yeah. Hey, we got a setup already right here when we do like a live in
Oh my
person
gosh,
event.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Oh yeah. The conversation is gonna be lit.
Oh yeah. And
Conversation is gonna
then
be lit.
eventually we get to a point. I'll just fly out, and then we'll just do live that way.
Oh, for sure. What? I have an office out here. Gonna have like a matter of fact. I'm gonna have because David and them they're building out another podcast station, so we'll just have a room or a space there where we can always just go to and just film podcast there. So the space is built. It's already there.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be lit. This is gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Get your tickets. InvestFest. This is gonna be awesome. I'm excited to be in the room, in the proximity with so many different great minds and just different people who are in the same process or have gone through the same process. And I'm just excited to grow and evolve and learn and experience.
Same, same. I'm really ready to take in whatever and give out whatever.
Mm,
While I'm
facts.
there.
Facts.
Like, so excited to give and receive. Um,
Mm,
Receiving is big. Be able to receive. That's how you get your
yeah.
blessings, right?
Being able to receive.
Yeah. So I'm
Mm,
excited for that.
like that.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
for sure.
All right, y'all. This has been another episode. Thank you for tuning in. And until next week, we
Mm-hmm.
will talk to you later. Peace
Yes.
and blessings. All right, I like that. That's a good thumbnail.
I know. I was like, let me hold it. That is hilarious.
All right, well, I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right.